Very honored and happy to be here and celebrate your anniversary together with you and to present to my colleagues, to translators and localization professionals. So I'm very happy to be here. And yes, we already talked a lot about AI and how disruptive it is and what threats and opportunities it brings. But if we think about today, it's more than ever important to invest in human relationships. And networking is one of the tools which you can use to succeed in that. So that's why I'm going to talk about networking, but not just networking, but storytelling networking. And we should remember that networking is not just about occasional acquaintances at conferences or building your connections on LinkedIn. It's more about finding new opportunities, partners, ideas, inspirations, and confidence. And that's why I want to share today my experience and also a few secrets how to make networking really work for you. But before that, I'd like to ask you to write in the chat a simple but sincere answer to the question, what do you do? So please write in the chat, what do you do? And at the end of this presentation, you can reply to this question again and see if there is any difference, okay? And meanwhile, I will share my screen. So, can you see my screen? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, so I'd like to share a secret with you. The reason I'm here today is also because of networking, thanks to networking. I know most of the women in localization Ukrainians chapter because of networking. And some of the conversations we had and some of the connections brought me to some incredible, wonderful projects in translation, in marketing, and some other areas. So isn't it amazing how one connection can bring you to some unexpected results, some unexpected changes in your career, in your profession, and even in your life. So last week I was at a marketing conference in Glasgow, and people ask me, what do I do? And I replied in many different ways, but my favorite one is this. So there are three things that can best describe what I do. And they are languages, marketing, and networking. And they are connected by two things, education and passion. Why? First of all, I always follow my passion in everything that I do. So it's no surprise that 20 years ago, I followed my passion for languages and started as a freelance translator after finishing graduating university in Kharkiv, and later founded my own company, which I called Translators Family. And today, Translators Family is a well-established translation company that operates in Ukraine, Poland, and the United Kingdom, and we help international organizations reach multilingual audiences across the world. But later I developed another passion, this time for marketing, which led me to my second education, now in Scotland, and starting a new brand, a new business, which I called 7R Marketing. But you know what? Both businesses won't be successful if not networking. Because whether you're in a translation, marketing, or any other field, everything starts with people. I've been building my network for more than 10 years, attending different conferences across Europe. But there is another, more personal reason why I want to share this knowledge with you, with my colleagues, about networking. You know, I wasn't always good at networking. As an introvert, walking into the room full of strangers and started talking, it felt terrifying. And it still is sometimes, but after years of networking and also my recent interest in researching the psychology of connection and learning from experts in networking, communication, public speaking, I've built more and more confidence. And I love learning from successful people. And Stephen Bartlett is one of those people that I love learning a lot from. And I'm reading now his book that is called The Diary of a CEO, The 33 Laws of Business and Life. And there is one law that I want to share with you from his book. It says, to master it, you must create an obligation to teach it. And here is what I'm doing right now, mastering networking by teaching it. Here is something I want to share with you. At the end of my short presentation, I'm going to share with you a free guide that I've built on the years of my experience networking and also insights from experts in communication, public speaking, and psychology. And today I chose 3 powerful principles of networking that changed my approach completely. And the third one is my favorite, but let's start at the beginning. So, principle number 1. People who know people. We often think that networking is about who we know. But what's even more important is not just who you know, but who they know. And what is even more important, and it's worth writing it down, is who knows you well enough to recommend you. Who knows you well enough to recommend you. And that's where the real power of networking lies, in trust. When people remember you and mention your name when someone is asking about a translator or an interpreter, that's when networking really works. Isn't that great when someone recommends you, right? So, let me share a secret with you. In my translation business, around 50% of major clients come through referrals, through recommendations. So the question that I ask after every new connection isn't, can this person buy from me, but can this person recommend me? Okay, are you ready for the second principle? So the second principle, consistency builds trust. Networking doesn't work if you just go to an event once a year and then disappear. If you want people start trusting you, remember you, and take you seriously, you need consistency. There is a rule in marketing that is called 7 touch points. 7 touch points. So it means that when people see you or hear you at least 7 times, they start trusting you more and they will become ready to buy from you. And let me share an example from my own experience. Just 3 weeks ago, I returned from the ATC Conference. It's the conference from the Association of Translation Companies. And it was already my second ATC conference. The last one was in Birmingham, Birmingham, last year, and the new one in Manchester this year. And as the last time, it was rainy, gray, the usual typical British weather. But surprisingly, these rainy and smaller conferences actually are the warmest when it comes to communication. Because between coffee breaks and small talks, something truly important is built, trust. So, 7 touch points from this conference. The first one was 2 years ago in Birmingham. I just met those people, and most of them were owners and managers of translation companies. And just a quick note that they are not my competitors, but they could be potential clients because they outsource their Polish and Ukrainian projects to Translators Family. So the second touch point was this year in Manchester, and half of the people that I met in Manchester already were in Birmingham. So there were questions more like, how was your year? How did you spend your year rather than what do you do? The third touch point during the gala dinner and awards ceremony. So imagine, everyone is dressed up, gentlemen in suits, ladies in evening dresses, great food, nice conversations, and suddenly, from the stage, my company, Translators Family, is announced as the finalist for Company of the Year and wins the New Member of the Year award. That moment created another level of trust. The fourth touch point. After the awards, we go to the after party. I don't know why, but in our industry, it's very usual, it's very common that an after party happens in a karaoke bar. So we've seen, I don't know why. So yeah, that's where real connections happen in an informal environment. The fifth touch point, the next second day of the conference, where the conversations become friendlier and everybody knows everyone. And the sixth touch point, it's when owner of one of translation companies approaches me and says that I saw your interview in the multilingual magazine, an online version, and it was quite nice and surprising. So people started recognizing me after this interview. Great. Those who haven't read this interview, they probably saw my LinkedIn post where I announced that I am at this conference and received that award. And the final seventh touch point. I return home and write a follow-up message on LinkedIn to everyone who I met at this conference. It's more than 30 people, and I write them, it was nice to meet you, it was great to talk to you and to sing with you, to dance with you, whatever. And if you ever need Ukrainian or Polish translations, you know where to find me. So now the question to you. How do you think, how many people respond to my cold LinkedIn messages? And how many people respond to my LinkedIn messages after these connections? So I get 1% of response to my cold LinkedIn messages, and more than 80% response to the messages after these 7 touch points. So you can see this is the power of consistency. And this doesn't mean that you have to, I don't know, have a magazine interview or sing karaoke with your potential clients. It's enough to be consistent at the events that you visit. Also, you can engage with your potential clients on LinkedIn, messaging, liking, commenting under their posts, and so on. That builds familiarity and trust. Do you agree? Okay, are you ready for the third principle, my favorite one? Tell your story. Here is a question again. When someone asks you, what do you do? What's your reply? Do you present yourself just, I'm a translator? I just read a post on LinkedIn. One translator wrote that she doesn't want to say just, I'm a translator at networking events anymore, because the follow-up questions are, so what languages do you speak? Or doesn't AI translate well enough? Even there is no any follow-up questions because it's a dead end. It's not a story, it's a fact. And the story is why you do it. So what brings you to this profession? What inspires you to be here? And you've probably read the book or watched the TEDx talk by Simon Sinek, Start With Why. And his strong statement is that in business, it doesn't matter what you do, but it matters why you do it. And Steve Jobs and Martin Luther King have one thing in common. They started with why. When you share what you do, why you do what you do, you're not just talking about your service, you're sharing meaning. And there is a nice experiment that proves it perfectly. A man bought 200 random items on eBay for $129. Then he added a short, fake but quite engaging story to each one. And guess what? He sold everything for, attention, $8,000. Can you imagine? Bought for $129, created stories and sold for $8,000. Why? Because stories create value. So your story makes your work relatable. It helps people see not just a company or a freelancer who provides a service, but the person behind it. So next time you are at a networking event or a conference, don't just say what you do, even when you write about yourself online. Say why you do it. Because why is what opens hearts and builds trust. So let's sum up. There are 3 things to remember for better connection at networking events. People who know people. Build relationships that can recommend you. Secondly, consistency builds trust. Networking isn't just once a year, it's repetition, visibility, and recognition. And third, tell your story, because your story creates value and makes you memorable. And I also want to leave you after this presentation with just one thing. Be proud of who you are, share your why, and tell your story, because your story deserves to be heard. You are unique, and your story is unique as well. So now, after this conference, please write down a new version of how you introduce yourself. The one that reflects not just what you do, but why you do it. And as promised, here is the bonus. I've prepared this free networking guide based on my years of networking and also the insights I got from experts, gurus of networking, public speaking, psychology. So feel free to go to my Instagram, comment network under any post about networking, or just message me directly and I will be happy to share it with you. And also, please share your feedback about my presentation. And if you have any questions, feel free to write me on LinkedIn or on Instagram. This is the QR code to my Instagram. So feel free, not mine, it's Translators Family Instagram, but you can find me on Instagram as well under the name Oleg Semerikov. Yes, and feel free to share your feedback as well and how it went actually at your next networking event after this presentation. So thank you. It was very nice to talk with you.
Wow, Oleg, thank you for it's amazing. We all woke up.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you for your positive vibes. And yes, actually, Paula is not here, but we did this exercise with what and why we do.